Hello, people. Welcome. Yeah, nice to have you along. As a start, I suppose you should please subscribe. Get your friends to subscribe as well, and we can share chats here about a whole lot of things. I guess. What am I on about today? I'm on about selection, the pressure of it, um, the complexity of it in IPL. Also price tags, because I think that's a part of it. I think it's very much a part of whether guys will play and whether they won't. Form, when you select a team, I suppose the most ideal situation is to have absolutely everybody in form, and therefore your team will play optimally. But that's when I say that's not possible, I don't think that's ever the case. You don't get a scenario where your six batters and your five bowlers are in tip top form all at the same time, and therefore you're going to win just about any game you play. That doesn't happen. As teams assemble and franchises in IPL assemble their group, their squads, there's this in mind, right? The fact that, yeah, as happens in the game of cricket, as happens in any sport, there'll be parts of the side that will need to be kind of helped by other parts. And so you've got to get the pieces to be able to kind of put the puzzle together. And as you go through a season, sometimes it'll be really good, other times maybe not. And teams then struggle from there. I'd say, though, that form is particularly important. So if you have players that are in form, you can't waste that. You've got to make sure you're not wasting good form, because nobody's in form forever. No matter their consistency, there's always something. There's a patch that they hit. And if you can use that to the advantage of the team, then you're probably giving yourself the best chance of success. A couple of examples. An instance in Punjab Kings. Sikandar Raza wins player of the match, then gets dropped the next game, and you think, "Ooh, what's going on there? Is that such a good move?" And they lose the next one, and then they win the one after that, which kind of says, "Okay, we're going in the right direction because they've won the game." I suppose that's what they'd feel. Then another scenario, and I don't know if this is a form scenario, but the other way around. So Kyle Mayers doing particularly well for Lucknow Super Giants, and it means that someone like Quinton de Kock, fantastic player, champion over and over, right, with Mumbai Indians, champion player, batted at the top of the order, could be successful. But the success and the form of Mayers says Quinton de Kock must sit on the side, and I think that's fair enough. I think you kind of not a lot you can do. You only have the space for the four overseas players, so you kind of have to try and balance that. The complication comes in when those you've left on the side have a particularly high price tag. And if they have a high price tag, and as a franchise you've paid quite a lot for them, then I can imagine, say, as the franchise owner, I would want my biggest assets, my biggest players, my biggest draw cards to be the ones that are out on the field, because essentially they represent the brand, my brand, which is my franchise. And if they're not, then it's essentially not quite my best team playing. By best team, I'm not talking about performance anymore. I'm talking about, what is best as a franchise placed out there. And what's best is for all the high value players that are bought for the most money to be on the field. So another case, Punjab Kings as well. I think Kagiso Rabada, a legendary player, but Nathan Ellis doing well, so kind of stayed on the sidelines, came back in, not trying to balance that whole equation. That's kind of what's going on, and it's not just that franchise that's having that issue. There are a few others who are. Now, how important should it be? Is it possible for franchises to be able to acquire whoever they want, and even if they get into a bidding war for this player, but then still have them be just one of the pieces of the puzzle? And by that, I mean the price tag almost goes out the window, And then it becomes about form and about balance whenever you're trying to select a team, rather than sort of trying to balance the team around the most kind of highly valued assets. Highly valued, I mean, with the price tag, right? And I think it's a difficult thing. My question out there is, to all of you out there is, should it be so? Should it not just be a case of 1 to 11, a few subs, and it doesn't matter how much you cost in the auction, and away we go? I suppose many things that should be and could be just aren't, because there are these things that will sway you, and that's kind of the way it goes. When it comes to the pieces of the puzzle, I've got an example actually. Big money spent by Sunrisers Hyderabad. Harry Brook. Now, Harry Brook, first trip, can't really put him down at 4. Whereas it's probably where he'd bat for England, right? He wouldn't bat up at the top. They have openers galore in the England side as well. And he's not going to bat at 4 in this Sunrisers side, because you've got Markram, Klaas, and they're good in the middle, good finishes and so forth. And you also don't want to put a young guy under that pressure when he turns up. So you want him to play, and logical is get him to the top of the order. But what happens to the rest of your side? Because the rest of your side also are opening batters and top order batters who would rather be batting up at the top. And if you kind of shift them around, and you see there's been a shift, Abhishek, Tripathi, whoever. And so what's happening is there seems to be a kind of disjointedness within that side. And I think they're still trying to sort out a batting order. But like I started with, when it comes to the selection, you've got to what? Try and ensure that you've got things balanced. You've also then got to figure out where your valued assets go in, and many a time you're wanting to involve them and make sure that they're the ones who are winning games for you. Brooks a wonderful player. It's great to watch. I love watching him actually. Got 100, right? What happens next? How do you fix that? How do you ensure that you get into winning ways? And where are we? Are we halfway just as yet? Just about in the tournament. So time is running out, and as teams scramble to figure out, okay, how do we do this? I wonder how that balance in terms of selection with regard to form, because now we know there have been a few games, with regard to the price tag, is going to be achieved. And it's something that I'll be watching pretty closely. Come on, give me your thoughts. What do you reckon in terms of all this selection and stuff, and the difficulty or simplicity of it? You might be watching the opinions without responsibilities, right? You can have this opinion and it doesn't matter. That's how you see it, and away we go. Subscribe, please. Press subscribe wherever subscribe is, and we can continue these conversations. Send me something, and I'll write back as well in the comments and all of that. That's it for now. Catch you next time. Bye.